Chapter 21. Imogen and Miro set out to find Blazing Bluebirds. Miro said that they'd known the hunter when they saw him. He was built like a bear, the tallest man in Yaroslav, and clothed in the furs of the beasts that he'd killed. Imogen borrowed a cloak to wear over her clothes and keep out the rain. Water washed off roofs and splashed down cobbled streets, forming little streams at the side of the road. Some people had shoved squid skulls on the ends of the gutters, like homemade gargoyles. Water rushed out through the jars. Despite the cloak, Imogen's fingers were soon numb and her shoes wet through. As the afternoon faded, she began to wonder if Blazing was a figment of the prince's imagination. She'd lost count of how many inns they'd visited, but there was no sign of the man. Miro seemed to have an endless supply of stories. Blazing was up against some impossible task. Blazing almost died. Blazing triumphed and was called a hero. It was the same plot, every single time. "It's going to get dark soon," said the prince. "This will have to be the last inn for today." Imogen peeped through the grubby window of the hornyard. Candlelight was just about visible on the other side. "Fine by me," she said. Inside the inn, it smelled of warm bodies and beer. Imogen ducked under elbows and squeezed between bellies. The top of the bar was level with her eyeballs. To her left, frothy ale sloshed and glasses clinked. To her right, money changed hands between quick-fingered card players. Above, the heads of badly stuffed animals looked on. A fox with one glass eye bigger than the other, a pigeon with a very long neck, and a bear with a strangely human expression. "Excuse me," said Miro, standing on tiptoes. The barmaid didn't respond. She was shouting at an old man who was face down on the bar. "What an odd place to sleep," thought Imogen. "It's useless," said Miro. "They're all drunk." "You did say he might be out hunting," said Imogen. "But it's getting late. Even the bravest hunter returns from the cottony forests before dark." "And is he? The bravest hunter, I mean. Are you sure it's not just stories?" "Oh, yes. They've made statues of him, and he's in all the songs. Blazing Bluebirds knows no fear. Blazing makes the ladies swoon. Blazing Bluebirds save the day. Blazing brings the monster's ruin." Miro was interrupted by the barmaid. She was shouting at him. No, at something behind him. Imogen turned to see a gigantic bearded man climb onto a table. In one hand, he carried a sack with pipes hanging off it. In the other, he brandished a beer. He roared as he mounted his stage. The men round the table cheered. The barmaid screamed, "Get down!" The man took a gulp of his drink and put his lips to the instrument's mouthpiece. The sack inflated. The sound that followed was like nothing Imogen had ever heard. A low, loud honk. A cow with a megaphone. There was no sensible way to describe it. Every head turned, and after that first blast, the man was off. Fingers running up and down the pipes, elbows squeezing the sack, filling the room with a wild melody and uneven rhythm. He alternated between singing, blowing into the instruments, and drinking. Sometimes he got the three mixed up and beer got into the mouthpiece. But his audience didn't mind. They loved it, and they loved him. They were stamping their feet and singing along. Imogen turned to Miro. He was grinning. "What are you so happy about?" she demanded. "That," he shouted over the noise, "is our man." "Him?" Miro nodded. "With the bagpipes?" asked Imogen. "Spevna Krava," corrected Miro. "Huh?" The city bells tolled, hardly audible over the music. "Did you hear that?" said Imogen. "We need to live." But Miro wasn't listening. He was working his way closer to Blazon. Imogen looked at the door. There were a lot of bodies between her and the exit. Even worse, instead of leaving, people were battening down the hatches. Shutters closed, fire out, door bolted. One song swung into the next. The piper's cheek puffed in and out, turning his face a ferocious shade of red. Why wasn't Miro doing something to get the man's attention? The bells stopped tolling. The streets were in Yaroslav. Imogen groaned. She was stuck in the Honyarch for the night.